Previously we talked about the printf function, which is this thing here. But now we need to actually talk about the main function. I've mentioned it very briefly in both my previous videos, but I think it's time we actually learnt a bit more about it. So a function, just to be very basic about it, because we're going to do functions a lot later in this course, but a function is essentially a block of code that you can run. So it's basically some code that you can run, and you can give it different data or arguments, or if you would like to make it do different things when you call it, it's called. But we don't need to know too much about that at the moment. That's more of a printf video. But the main function then. So I've mentioned this before, but the main function is the first function that's ever run in C. So let's say I had a function called anything else, like hello, and let's just say we blah blah blah. We'll get onto this in a moment, but you don't need to know about this. This is great, but this isn't going to be run unless we call it from the main function. So essentially, and we can't even call it actually, but that's beside the point. That's my bad programming. So basically what we need to do is, the main function is every single program has it. So you're doing what every single other programmer does in the world at the moment, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's a good thing, but yeah, so basically the main function is what it is it's just because you need to start somewhere. Every program needs to start somewhere, and the main function therefore is the place where you it's anything in the main function is run when you double click on your program or run it through the terminal or whatever. So it's dependent. You can do whatever you like in it, and basically the reason it's called main, I don't know why it's called main, but it has to be called main, so don't mistake it with anything else. For example, something I've done in the past is done this: int main with a capital M, and I've run the program, and I've gotten a lot of weird things. So it needs to be the main function with a lowercase m. And yeah, why is it int then? Well, int is short for integer. Now, if you might have learnt in maths or in something like that, or whatever you call it in America, I don't know, algebra, whatever you, but that an integer is a whole number. So basically, what this means is int is what the main function returns. So basically, something has to call the main function. Like, even though it's the main function, something still has to run it. It doesn't just run on its own. So in this case, when you double click on your program, or run it through the terminal will call your main function. And we have the ability to send details back to the terminal once the program is finished. So the details I'm talking about is usually we return the number 0 if nothing went wrong and everything went well, or we return another number, like a natural number, or I guess it can be negative as well, a non-zero number, and basically that tells the computer that something went wrong. And if you get onto more complicated things, that's useful. But at the moment, we don't need to worry too much about it. Just know that the main function is always an integer return type.